I'm Sarah from The Upcoming.
Hey,
So lovely to meet you very well. How are you? So the third instalment of Johnny English. What can fans expect from this third one?
Well, of course you can expect more japes and adventures from Johnny. He still thinks he's James Bond, and of course he isn't, and there lies the fun. So he sets off in his red Aston Martin, having been brought back to MI7, and he goes to the south of France in search of a digital villain, and then round many other places in the world.
And Rowan Atkinson, I mean, he's a bit of a British institution in terms of comedy. How is it working with him?
I think, the first time you meet Rowan, you've got to get past the fact that, here's this legend that I've watched since my teenage years, not that I was looking at Blackadder or Bean, but what you realise, he's an incredibly thoughtful guy. He's obviously a genius comedy performer, but he also really understands comedy from the inside. He's very much a sort of engineer of comedy. So you're working with someone who really knows what he wants to do as a performer, and then it's your job, I think, to accommodate them in terms of the way you shoot it and take them with you in terms of the key decisions that you make, because there is no Johnny English movie without Rowan.
And it is a film that kind of straddles this area between comedy and action for the kids and adults. How do you balance all those things to make a cohesive film?
Well, it's a really good question. I think you do have to keep asking, are we hitting the right tone? Is this going to be, too much of, too obvious for people or too complicated? Comedy needs clarity. So most of the time we're making things really clear so people can follow the gag and follow the story and get the joke. But really what you want is something that also never feels dull. You don't feel like you've got acres of desert to wade through before you get to the next funny patch.
I mean, it's a pretty tumultuous time politically, and a time we're looking at Britishness, perhaps is it a comedy that we do need, and something just to remind us of the light-hearted side of our country?
Well, I don't know if we've ever needed to laugh more than we do now. I mean, really, when you look at the state of this country and, and half of the world, it feels like we need some light relief. But also, specifically, we have, as our Prime Minister in the movie, Emma Thompson, and there isn't a day goes by when I don't wish that Emma Thompson was our actual Prime Minister.
And can you tell us quickly about any future projects you've got in the pipeline already?
I'd love to say that I've got a dozen movies ready to shoot, but no, I'm reading scripts and doing meetings, but there's nothing definite yet.
Is there a funniest moment in the film that we should look out for you?
Different people have their different funniest moment, and that's great, but possibly mine is one of two things. Either when Johnny takes some pills that have quite a pronounced effect on him and he pushes a door open quickly, and I won't say any more because it would spoil it, or when he puts on a VR headset, virtual reality headset, and thinks he's infiltrating the villain's house, when in fact he's running amok in central London, causing total chaos and carnage.
All right, fantastic. We can't wait to see it. All right, thanks so much for your time. Thanks.
Pleasure.